Well, Team South Africa has announced 34 athletes who will carry the flag for our country in the upcoming Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. Well, let's chat now to Paralympic athlete Tyrone Pillay, who will be competing at the second Paralympic Games. That's his second in Tokyo 2020, taking place from the 24th of August to the 5th of September. Tyron, good afternoon. Well done. Congratulations. And I know that this was on your wish list in a very big way. How are you feeling after the announcement?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's always great. You know, the chance to represent your country and to go out there and represent our nation proudly is always great.
And I think just remind us of what it is you actually specialize in. What is your sport? What are the sort of events that you participate in?
So my event is shot put. So I'm a amputee from above the knee, effectively. So it's the F63 class shot put.
So tell us about your preparations for this. I mean, I know that we had a chat a couple of months ago, and it was just about, you know, sort of training in the hope of this happening. What's the journey been like? I mean, it must have been pretty nerve-wracking for you up until this moment, wondering, will it happen, won't it happen? And then when you heard that the Paralympics were going ahead, it would be, will I be chosen or won't I be chosen?
Well, you know, I have to start by saying one thing. I work with an amazing psychologist who's always said to me, we focus on what we can control and not on what we can't. So what I've always done was I trained as if I was going and I was preparing for the games. That's it. I never stopped for any second. I mean, yes, we had our challenges with COVID where we didn't have chances to train and those kind of things, but I still was able to do visualization. I was still able to do some sort of gym work just to keep that shape, still keep that mindset. You know, that was the important message that I stuck to. But yeah, there was a lot of challenges, and it wasn't just me. I think it's all the athletes that had to go through it. So it's an amazing achievement for every single one of them to make the games and to be participating right now. So I think everyone can be proud of what they've achieved.
Okay, so not long now until you have to get on a plane and get going. So what happens from now till then?
Well, so obviously there's a few things. We'll have to get tested for COVID before we leave. So we'll have a test tomorrow, and then we'll have a test again on Tuesday before we depart on Thursday. But over and above that, the team will still be training. I mean, I got to go and do some training sessions, gym, all of those kind of things over the next couple of days before we head out. And then when we get there, obviously there's a whole lot of protocols around COVID when we arrive, then get to the village. There's a whole lot there. It's not as easy as the previous games. It's a lot more complicated, a lot more paperwork, and it's amazing that we have such great team members. I mean, our team management have been absolutely amazing to get everything done, from our team doctors to our actual team. Each coach has done so well for us and made life easier for us.
So of the 34 athletes, I mean, you're one of them who've been announced. Any surprises there? Anybody that you've spoken to since that announcement earlier this afternoon who was surprised that they're on the list?
Funny enough, I haven't actually spoken to too many people since the announcement. Obviously, I'm stuck in my room right now, and then obviously with the amount of messages coming through and all of that, I haven't had a chance to speak to too many people. But I don't think there's anybody that's too surprised. I think everyone knew where they were at, had a clear idea of what they needed to do. So I don't think there were too many surprises as far as who's in the team kind of thing.
It is your second Paralympic Games, your second go-around. And like you say already, lots of paperwork and things that make it different. But otherwise, I mean, under the current restrictions with COVID and all of that, just, you know, how have you had to prepare? Like you say, you had your psychologist helping you. But compared to the first one, what are you taking from that experience into this? And then what do you expect, what else to be different?
Well, you know, one of the biggest things, and I think it's going to be a challenge, especially for someone like me who thrives off the crowd. You know, I'm a bit of a showman when I go out to compete. So not having a crowd is going to be a bit of a big change. No matter how experienced you are, when you walk out there and you're walking into an empty stadium, it's going to be challenging. But you got to focus on these things. You know, we've been having months of training where you're actually starting to think, you don't have crowds. How do you prepare for that? You got to go into that mental space, get really deep in and try and fix on for that kind of situation. So there's a lot of stuff. I mean, the games is still going to happen. You know, it's still going to work whether there's spectators or not. So we have to prepare for that kind of environment. And also, I mean, you can't be sure what's going to happen, you know, next day. Every day is something new. Every day is a challenge. So you got to keep your mind focused on your process. Make sure you're doing that all the way through. Prepare well, eat right, train right, do all of those things, and that's exactly where you're going to be at.
And what's the support been like from SASCOC, Tyron, for you and the 33 others?
Well, it hasn't been that easy. I mean, obviously, with the restraints, obviously with COVID and all sorts of things, financially, it's been tough, I think. But I mean, as far as if you look at where we're at right now, they've supported us to get to this point. But I've been lucky in that I have my own sponsors that have come on board and helped me quite a bit to get to where I'm at. And I really owe a lot to them. Tascock as well. I mean, they've got us to this point, and then they're going to keep helping us right through the games. And they've done a good job as far as, like, you know, from our clothing all the way through some of the fiascos we had in the past. So much better this year, greater sponsors, greater commitment coming through. And I think, yeah, it's going to be great for the team to see them compete at this level and do really well for our country.
Well, other than standing up there and receiving your gold medal, what else are you looking forward to with these games, Tyron?
Well, obviously, I'm getting a bit on in age, so I'm 41 years old, and I'd always like to be the mentor of the team to some of the younger athletes and show them that it's not only about the medals. You know, I always stand by the fact you're not measured by the medals, but the legacy that you create. So for me, that's my big message, and it's something that I drive home every single day. Is I want to create a legacy, and that's exactly it. Show these youngsters exactly what it's about, what's the true spirit of sport. And most importantly, everything that we've gone through over the last few weeks as a country. I mean, I took it personally, and it really affected me deep with what we went through, to show our people that we are stronger together, and we're going to do this for every single person in South Africa.
And what do you say, Tyron, to like you say, you know, lessons for youngsters there, but those who are Olympic or Paralympic hopefuls, those who are living with a challenge at the moment and want to be you? Just what's the word of how to travel this road, how to travel this path and get there?
Wow. So it's quite simple. Always believe in your dreams. You know, I was a 3-year-old kid when I imagined of one day going to the Olympics, running the relay. And 33 years later, I got to the podium at the Rio Paralympic Games. So it's never too late. You know, you can always achieve your goals if you dream. And if you dream, you work hard towards it. You know, you got to give it everything you got every single day to make your dreams become a reality. And don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. So that's my message to everybody. Always believe in your dreams.
All right, fantastic, Tyron, and good luck to you and the 33 others who will be heading off to Tokyo, and those games happening from the 24th of August to the 5th of September. We'll be looking forward to seeing you coming through those through that arrivals hall with all those medals draped around you, Tyrone Pillay. Thanks so much for your time.